Hey everybody, Crystal Peak. We stand on the summit and we're looking down on Upper Crystal Lake. Up here in the Cascades, mid-July. It's pretty perfect up here. I haven't seen a person all day. This is a low-key geology video with a little bit of hiking thrown in as well, but for a change, let's film on the way down. So our cars are down there along the White River, and 3,000 feet of up. Took us about 3 hours to get up here, and it's quite perfect. So we'll give you a sense of the peak here and see if you're interested in coming up at some point. Gizmo in one hand, hiking pole in the other. Fortified with a peanut butter and honey sandwich and a big jug of water. And this looks to be some andesite, maybe. Could be a rhyolite. I see a few little skinny black hornblende minerals, so let's say andesite. And you're like, come on, I thought you were a geologist. How about doing your homework first? The one advantage to filming on the way down is that you don't have to hear my heavy breathing, I guess. Another advantage of hiking on the way down is I kind of have already scoped out a few spots on the way up that I thought were interesting. So maybe this is a more efficient way to film anyway. Plus, we're looking north, and so we're kind of lit from the back. I mean, we are near Mount Rainier, but this is not technically part of Mount Rainier itself. Probably on some andesite lava that erupted from Rainier. Yeah, I probably should have looked that up. That's on me. There were 4 Clark's nutcrackers that were having a little party here. It was fun to watch them for a while. Birds. I would have called them birds, but my hiking partner says they're Clark's nut crackers. We'll talk about Rainier in a second, and we'll talk about this beautiful valley down below, that has a very specific story, but just trying to enjoy these bedrock views. There's nothing like the Cascades in July. Those that have experience up in these mountains know that. The smells just are outstanding. Never been up here. We're proud of ourselves as older people. We both purchased the All Trails Pro app and have had some early success downloading maps that you can then use as you're hiking. I know we're years behind the times, but instead of struggling with paper maps and everything else, I've got this blue dot on my phone, and I will get a lot of use out of this All Trails. So this episode of Nick from the Field brought to you by All Trails. You gotta love it. We left, what's today? July 13th, I think. It's a Tuesday, whatever Tuesday is. July 13th, I think. And we decided last night we would try this hike. and left Ellensburg about 7:30. Are those the... Oh. There was some haze in Ellensburg. Looked like smoke. Got to Yakima, 30 miles to the south. Now it smelled like smoke and more haze. Couldn't see Rainier from Yakima. I was like, oh my God, seriously? Are we going to get a view of Rainier at all? So we stopped in Yakima, got our phones out. I thought, well, maybe I can find the Crystal Mountain live cam. Crystal Mountain is not very far away. Again, we're on Crystal Peak. Crystal Mountain's a little different ski place. And they've got a live camera up there, and so we Googled it, found it, and it's like, looked like this at 8 o'clock this morning. It's like, okay, I guess we're going to get out of the haze, and we did. And so the temperatures are outstanding. It's supposed to be 100 degrees back in Ellensburg and Yakima today, but I don't know, it's probably 75 degrees and a slight cool breeze, and tough to beat. Tough to beat. I'm grateful for artificial knees to allow me to do this. Dr. Rue in Yakima, shout out. Northwest Orthopedics. Oh, I'm sponsored by all sorts of people today. This episode of Nick from the Field brought to you by Northwest Orthopedics. You've got to love those new joints. So, left Ellensburg 7:30, got to the trailhead here, 9:30. You can look up a map, I guess. I forget if we're in the national park proper or not, but we didn't actually go through the entrance gates or anything, so, you know, I'm too cheap to pay $30 to go into the national park. So, all right, well, this is probably a good spot just since I'm doing this one take here. So you're looking at Mount Rainier, you're basically looking straight west. And if I zoom for you, and maybe I can use my hiking poles to point out a couple landmarks which I'm confident on. Actually, just one landmark that I'm confident on. Actually, I'm starting to think it's getting hazier now than it was an hour ago. Summit of Rainier. You might be able to see the hint of a circular dark circle. That's the summit crater. Mount Rainier is an active volcano. It hasn't erupted noticeably in a few hundred years. There's been a few little puffs here and there, but nothing major, of course, since 5,600 years ago. And you're looking at a bunch of glacial ice. That's not just snow, that's glacial ice. And the feature I'm hoping to point out, can I zoom any more? I guess I can. Is the focus still okay? So, come on, where's my, there. Summit, steamboat prow, very important feature, steamboat prow. Pretty obvious, the prow of the steamboat. Looks like a steamboat is just, you know, inching towards the summit here. So the prow is right there. And many of you may know the story, but in case you don't, having trouble here, hang on, back up. That surface on Steamboat Prow used to extend all the way to the summit of Rainier, another 1,000 feet of Rainier. Rainier used to be taller. And 5,600 years ago, all of the massive rock, lava layers, lahar deposits, all that material that made up the former summit of Rainier. Here's another former surface. So Steamboat Prow is one former flank. Here's another, I don't know the name of this, another former flank. Can you kind of extrapolate and get those guys up to the former summit? Well, there was an event, probably some sort of volcanic eruption, although I'm not sure we know for sure that there was an ashy event. 600 years ago, but what we do know is that this entire face of Mount Rainier fell. It broke away. It started to mobilize. And that whole portion, a hell of a lot of rock, sorry Patrick, started to flow down the river valley here. Basically down this little river valley here, the White River Valley. So this is the White River that's coming down before you. So can you picture a whole portion of this flank collapse of Mount Rainier 5,600 years ago? It's just an enormous landslide, and that landslide converts into a volcanic mudflow known as a lahar. Yeah, I'm talking about the Osceola Mudflow, man. Hundreds of vertical feet of stuff like liquid concrete coming down, this incredible slurry coming down this valley. And it made it all the way to Tacoma, Washington. Now, since I've been visiting recently with Randy Lewis, I have Native American history on the brain. And I have heard, but never followed up on the fact that there's been some archaeological excavation at the base of the Osceola Mudflow. In other words, down in that valley on the way down to Tacoma. And so there was at least one. I'm talking out of I don't know my facts here, so I'm just kind of spitballing. Hope you can understand. There's at least one archaeological site that's been proven to be overrun by this Osceola Mudflow 5,600 years ago. So is there more than one settlement that's been found? Maybe. Is it truly a settlement, or were there just a couple of little broken pieces of this and that, tools or whatever? I don't know. I need to look into that. In fact, if you're watching this and you know details about the archaeological or the Native American history of this White River Valley as it pertains to the Osceola Mudflow 5,600 years ago, I would be very interested in hearing from you somehow. Email me or whatever, or leave a comment below. Also, I'm just starting to learn oral traditions. Oh my God, our first people of the day. I guess I'll keep it rolling. Hopefully they're not too bothered by that.
Oh, hello.
Hi there. Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good day. Thank you. I'm just starting to learn oral traditions. Of course, it's not my place to tell the oral stories, but I'd like to learn them the best I can. Now, is there any better way to learn an oral story than from a guy like Randy Lewis? No. But is there somebody like Randy Lewis who has intimate knowledge of the folks who lived in this drainage? I'm not sure there is. So I'd like to learn some kind of account of some stories about what happened, probably a very tragic day 5,600 years ago with this event. Keep it rolling for a couple more minutes and then I think I'll cut you off and maybe just pop in a couple more times with a couple other special spots. Oh my God, biology? Are you kidding? Are you biology? Biology? What? Yeah, that smoke is coming in. Can't tell if my wife is muttering under her breath or not. Probably not. Yet. She barely broke a sweat. barely took her hands out of her pockets. A little different story for me. Thanks for the pro tips on how to breathe when you're going up 3,000 feet of elevation. Breathe through your nose. Okay. All right. I'll bring duct tape next time. Duct tape my mouth shut. Breathe through my nose. I'm pushing 60. You're going to have to hear me breathe a little bit. Sorry. Some of you may know Sunrise, an area within the national park. So the road to Sunrise comes here, crosses, works its way. You can see a few little scars. And then the road, there's a ranger station right around the corner up there. So if you've hiked around the Sunrise area, maybe that will orient you a little bit. Otherwise, I don't know a lot of these peaks. And we don't get up here that often. It's only 2 hours from Ellensburg, but you know, there's other places to visit as well. But as soon as you do come up here and you see the traffic, especially when you cross into the national park and you hear all the accents and all the people, pre-COVID of course, you're reminded that this is a destination for many people around the world. And why not? It's a special, special place for many reasons. And hopefully this little video will encourage you to get up here. And last thing I'll say is, I don't know, I guess I'm gun shy from the last few summers, but I'm motivated to get out as much as possible on the trails and visiting with other geologists and other types of people as well. I'm extra motivated because it feels like it's just any day now the smoke's going to come in and we're going to be socked in for the rest of the summer. That's kind of been the way it's been the last 2-3 summers in central Washington and in other places I know as well. Maybe far worse than central Washington, I understand. But this fresh air, which and blue sky, which we've never really given a second thought to. From the last few summers, we realized that we're not guaranteed that every day in summer around here. So trying to get out and enjoying it the best we can. buddy? Do it, Liz.
I don't know how to squeak like a puppy. Well, that was good.
Meep. Text.